This is my Smith & Wesson 686 -5. This is a kind of a go-betweener Smith & Wesson revolver in that it had the MIM parts. This was a 7-shot cylinder. Pull the hammer back. It didn't have the firing pin. But it didn't have the internal safety lock. So this was kind of they were kind of moving towards that. Apparently they were phasing out the older and phasing in the new with the safety, the internal safety lock, and this one didn't have it. So this is kind of a go-between pistol in that era. I don't know how many of them were made. I don't think it's very uncommon, but it usually when you see them with the release in that shape, they always had the hole in there for the goofy safety thing they had in there. They're a beautiful revolver. They're very functional. I've never had any issues with it. Shoots fine. Not much really to say. This is the L frame. I think some of my videos I showed you the K frame, the N frame. This is their L frame. This is more the size of the Colt Python. It kind of had like the lines of it. It didn't have the ventilated rib, but it had the full underlug. Kind of give it that, kind of cool factor, I guess. The only thing that, I didn't really care about the full lug was just the weight out there. But, to each their own. Came with the black grips. These are Smith & Wesson black, kind of a Packmeyer grip. I like the grips. I don't think they look very nice, but I like them. So, I had thought about a couple times, just getting the wood grips for it. And, I like a wood grip on a revolver, but I haven't done it yet. And I've like I said, I've had the thing for years. And it's just one of those guns. I used to carry this in my truck all the time, in a holster, and it's just hard to really do anything to these things. I know when I bought it, it was really, really dull, kind of had a hazy look to it. And sometimes even in the gun shops today, you can see used guns like this kind of hazy. You can see that this one it just looks brand new, shiny. And what I've found that worked really good is this stuff here is never dull. I use this in the garage a lot for working on things, working on cars and stuff like that, and even some tools. They work on any kind of metal, and it worked really well on this stainless steel. Shined it right up. It doesn't hurt the metal, doesn't hurt the gun. It just kind of polishes up and makes it. It's really easy to do. So you don't have to really spend a whole lot of time rubbing it. It just kind of puts a nice puts back a nice finish on it that it probably had from the factory, because these things will dull out pretty easy. Another thing, if you're new in the 357 Magnum world and you're getting new into maybe reloading for the 357 Magnum, one of the things that when I started years ago, 40 years ago, probably, at least 40 to 35 to 40 years ago, when I started loading, it was the best advice I got was, this kind of powder, this IMR 4227. And the reason is this is a low pressure powder, and most of the charges are compressed. So unlike some of the faster burning powders, you use less powder, but there's very little danger to none of literally blowing yourself up. And the reason is that most of the loads that you use in 357 Magnum with this powder are compressed, so you can't double charge it. You're not going to blow yourself up, and that's kind of a sigh of relief till you get going and you really start to understand how the reloading process works. So this is a charge for the 357 Magnum in here with 4227. You can see that it fills the case almost to the top. And even looking at the pressures in the loading manual, and you're free to do this in the Lyman manual, any manual you want to look, even with this much powder and the pressures are much lower than some of the other powders. So just a little piece of advice. I mean, I'm going to give you the look in your loader's manual, but 4227 has been a powder around for decades, and as it's one of the things that I feel is worth telling guys that maybe are new to reloading. It would be beneficial until you get yourself really understanding the whole process, that you use a powder that you can't double charge and maybe cause yourself or your firearm a little bit of harm. I guess the last thing I'll tell you about in this video is a long time ago, I have a little wood shop out in the garage, and I come across some thin sliced oak, and I made a bunch of these. I bought some of these plastic inserts or cartridge inserts off of Amazon. They weren't very much money. Can't remember. I want to say they were $10 or $12 for 10 of them, maybe. They're only $1 a piece or something like that. But anyway, I made a bunch of these for gifts one time. They're kind of real easy to make, and maybe give somebody an idea for a gift. I give these, last year I think I gave my father-in-law. I buy a box. I usually don't give him hand loads because I just don't, and I just buy factory ammunition and fill it up with this. And I asked him, just the other day, I said, have you ever used any? He says, no. He says, it looks so nice sitting on my shelf. He says, I just don't want to use any out of it. So it's kind of a nice present idea. Maybe in the spring, I'll do a video and show you how easy these things are to make. This one has a magnet. I inletted a magnet, and it didn't work as good as I thought it would. Mostly I just use a latch, and you can get this stuff really, really cheap, either online or Hobby Lobby or something like that. So that's my video, 686. You like and comment, leave a comment down below. I appreciate it. Thank you.